All right, in this episode, we talk about elbow effusion
and how the glutes stabilize.
All right, Brent Porcio, Stephen go down here, the @TopVelocity hashtag Pitch Tip Show, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, @TopVelocity hashtag Pitch Tips. Ask your question, we answer on the show. Always talking about the Pocket Radar. Something we use here is a measuring tool, just one of the many things we use. If you guys are looking for a reliable Pocket Radar to basically measure all your target and med throws like we do with the program, for those guys who have the program, I would highly recommend this. Top Velo at pocketradar.com. You get 10% off the asking price. Top Velo is your coupon code. Also, 2X, 3X camps are coming up. I've laid all the 2X, 3X camps out for the summer right now. Actually, we might pick up more 2X camps, but the 3X camps are all laid out. So follow or go check those out and try to book those as soon as you can, because those will fill up. And then also in the fall, I've got them all going through the fall if you want to look ahead as well. But people always ask, hey, when should I come to 3X camp? Should I come now or should I come later? Always come as soon as you can, because there's a lot to learn. There's so much to consume when you start this program that it's going to be really a quintessential how early you start. So I would want to start ASAP with the camp as far as getting you set and getting you ready to go. So cool, here we go. What's our question for today?
Hood Baseball asks, can excessive throwing create effusion in the elbow joint?
Yeah, so basically elbow effusion is just trauma. It's swelling, blood. There's really more specific terms to it. And there's studies that show typically where there's effusion, there's fracture. So that means you have an elbow fracture, or a good chance you have an elbow fracture. So yeah, would excessive throwing cause that? Yeah, excessive throwing can be traumatic. It is typically traumatic. So any type of excessive anything is traumatic to the joints. Now, what's excessive, it's something that your body's not used to. It's like if it's used to this, workload, and then you push to this workload, that becomes excessive, and then you're gonna have trauma. So, I really do believe you can throw every day, but I truly believe if you're gonna throw every day, you need to be as efficient as possible, and there's things that reduce stress when you throw. So all those things need to be applied, but throwing every day is actually can be good. Now, forcing your body to throw every day, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I think, when your body is worn out, it's tired, it's inflamed, it's probably telling you it doesn't need more trauma. So if you can get it accustomed to throwing every day, I think it's great. And we typically push that closer to the season. In the off season, we're at least 3 times a week, and they're very low stress throws. We use a lot of med throws. When we use the baseballs, there are a lot of lower half work, so it takes the stress off the arm. So I believe in throwing. I believe in low stress throwing. I believe in drill based throwing. I believe in not throwing when your body is inflamed and worn out, because here's the problem, and this is where everybody goes wrong, is when this flexor mass and this bicep and tricep is not at full recovery and it can't handle the stress. I remember pitching, and this is how bad I let it go, my 2 fingers would curl up because the muscle would fatigue so hard, it couldn't even use the fingers, it shut down. So that means my flexor mass is gone, and I'm still pitching in games. So that means my UCL is the next thing to go. Who knows, it could have torn. So the point is I don't want to push throwing more torques in my arm if my muscles aren't strong enough to handle those torques, because the only thing left over is this little ligament in the elbow, which we all know becomes a major problem when it gets torn. It can actually ruin a lot of careers. So be careful with throwing every day, but yes, trauma is things like effusion and fractures and tears and growth plate displacement, and you need to be careful of that. So you got to really understand and learn, like in a 3X approach, and how it works. And if you learn all the principles, you can start to build your throwing volumes on top of that. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, just like ASMI said, the number one predictor of arm injury and stuff is overuse. So obviously excessive throwing, if you're doing that year round or doing max effort throws year round, then you could lead to some overuse and some arm injury. So like Brent says, like in the 3X program, In the off season, we try to do our low effort, not low effort, but just it puts less stress on the arm and really working on the lower half with the med ball throws and the target throws, really emphasizing trying to get more efficient with your lower half to take stress off the arm. So I think that's the way to go about it.
Yeah, and I think that's huge. And there's a lot of people that are really caught up in these throwing approaches, like weighted balls, long toss, more throwing. And I think that's why baseball keeps compounding injury. You really need to understand when to throw, when not to throw, how to throw, what's more efficient throwing and all that. And if you don't understand that, don't start building loads. Don't start building your throwing program before you understand how the body's going to handle all those throws. I think that's the problem where we all go down. Not enough people understand how all this works, and then they just start building throwing programs and they have no idea how this all works, and then they fall into injury. That's how it works. Next question.
Hood Baseball asks, how do you increase the strength and stability of glutes, especially at front foot strike?
Hey, good question. The glute stabilizes the hips. So at front foot strike, that's so critical because high velocity pitchers, studies show, have no knee flexion or added knee flexion. So there really has to be a strong base at front foot. In the studies show too, we stabilize the hips, it creates stability for the trunk. And also too, the more we lock down the hips into that stability to where there's, I guess that's what really stability is, where there's no movement, then it gives the trunk a pivot, a really efficient pivot to accelerate and peak speeds off of. So the glute becomes very important at front foot strike. So of course, any glute development can come in two of my favorite exercises would be hip thrusters, and then, three. It's gonna be squatting, hip thrusters, and deadlifting. Okay, so big on hip thrusters and squatting. You see David Ardsma used to post all his hip thruster work on his Instagram page, so you probably want to go and look at his old
He's got
hip
one
thrusting.
of me and Bob sitting on the bar we put all the weight on the bar, and me and Bob both sitting on the bar, and he still lifted it up.
Yeah, so if you want to go see how to do that, go check out David Ardsman's Instagram page and watch him do his infamous hip thrusters. I'm sure we should just call them the Ardsma thrusters. I don't think you would like that, right?
Yeah.
And you'll get an idea of that. Of course, squatting and more deep squatting will really hit that. And then deadlifting as well, posterior is going to hit that. So that's how you'd increase the strength. You'd have to build those lifts in. Of course, we build them in for you in a periodization model with our programs. So I would recommend you look at our programs when you do that. And I think that's good. I think you do need to focus on the glutes. They're huge, but at the same time too, that's a stabilizer. So what gets more force into front leg to where you can stabilize more force, because it's really all about force, and you're gonna look at other things. You're gonna look at the quads, the calves, the adductors, those things support acceleration into front foot strike. Glutes will work there as well. So more than just glutes. That's why, guys, if you sit here and you try to take bits and pieces of all this, you're gonna waste your time. You might as well just get the whole puzzle right now, which we have, and just go at it, as opposed to grabbing little bits and pieces, because it takes you forever to understand how all this works and lay it all down, because it took me forever. I'm almost 40, and I'm still putting bits and pieces together, but we really have pretty much everything. Now it's just little fine tune, or a little fine detail to the whole puzzle. Anything you want to add?
On the strength side of it too, I just wanted to throw out there that I also like for front leg stabilization stuff like step ups, split jerks, and what was my last one? I'm blanking on it. I forget
Step
it.
ups are really good too, because that's a single leg.
Just single leg lunges, stuff like that. Just
single legs are great. We do our power lunge,
Yeah, and then on top of that, then like Brent's saying, then you have to start looking at other stuff too, and that's like where the power clean comes into when you're in the catch phase, how you're absorbing the forces and stabilizing it. That goes into the front leg, and then also plyometrics, like single leg plyometrics, stuff like that. Absorbing forces, creating ground reaction forces, that all goes into it. And then the sport specific stuff, obviously I love the King of the Hill and doing the front leg drills. So you can, we got it right here so we can show it. The King of the Hill doing the front leg drills, and that kind of translates it into sport specific stuff. So you can really work on stabilizing the front leg and learning how its stabilization is going to launch the trunk and stuff like that.
Yeah, this great plate And we have this on topvelocity.net with the 3X Velocity Development Kit, a specific program for it. Yeah, and it's got a ton of great front leg work in it that this plate is great for developing. So yeah, and it's pretty heavy duty. So all right, good question. Come down to the 2X 3X Velocity camps coming up for the summer. Don't wait too long to book those. And if you have a question, go to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, at Top Velocity, hashtag Coach Tips, hashtag Baseball Tips. Ask your question, answer on the show, and we'll see you on the next episode.